everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Ryan. I wanted to do this quick video of my pregnancy tests and show the progression line testing out my HCG trigger shot. When I was testing out my trigger, I couldn't find many videos on this, especially ones where the test goes from positive to negative and back to positive due to being pregnant. So I just wanted to do this video to help anyone out there that might be going through this. I want to add that everyone is different. So your tests are probably going to be different. It will probably be around the same time as mine went completely negative back to positive, but yours could show up a big fat positive before I got mine. So after 2.5 years of trying and 4 losses, I am extremely happy but cautious in saying I did get pregnant this cycle. Things are going smoothly so far, and we have heard a heartbeat. This was my second cycle on Clomid and my first HCG trigger shot. I'm also going to show you some different brands of pregnancy tests that I took and their results as well. So, all right, let's get to it. Real quick, before I show the pregnancy tests, I wanted to go over my ovulation tests. This day is the day I took my trigger. It was cycle day 13. And I didn't know I was going to be taking a trigger shot, so that's why normally you would see the line get lighter after the ovulation day. So my ovulation day was cycle day 15. But because I had that trigger shot, my tests continued to be dark. And you see right here, it got even darker after my ovulation. So that's just because of the HCG trigger shot. These are easy at home ovulation tests. And then down here, I was also doing the Clear Blue Advanced ovulation tests. And these lines, the test lines on these, don't get quite as dark as the easy at homes because it's in a holder and it gives you a smiley face. So I just don't think that you can really rely on these lines much because you just pay attention to what the holder says. So here is my cycle day 13 was the trigger shot, and then my ovulation day, cycle day 15. So the line does get darker, but it just doesn't, I don't think, show quite as much as the easy at home. But I do love taking the Clear Blue Advanced Digital ovulation tests because it gives you a more specific day of when you're going to ovulate. Okay, so let's go over to my pregnancy tests. These are easy at home HCG strips. You can get like a box of, I don't even know how many I got, 50. You can get tons of tests on Amazon for like really cheap. Okay, so like I said, cycle day 13 was my trigger shot. So this is 1 day past the trigger. And then my ovulation day was cycle day 15. So you can start seeing it get a little bit lighter here on 4 days past trigger. I feel like these look a little the same. This one may even look a little bit darker. It probably depends on how diluted your urine is as well. Okay, so right here you can definitely tell that it's disappearing more. So we're all the way down to 7 DPO. And I don't know if you can see that on camera, but there is still a line there. 8 DPO, there's still barely a line. And then 9 DPO is where it finally disappeared. I don't know if you can tell. 10 DPO is where there's barely a line. And I was worried that it was still the trigger and maybe my urine wasn't as diluted as this day, so I wasn't convinced that this was a positive. And then on 11 DPO, you can see that line better. I felt a lot better this day. And then on 12 DPO, it was very hard for me to actually believe that I was getting positives. This one's really dark, so that was really a good day. That day was September 22nd. That day, I finally decided to take a digital test. Here's my digital. And a lot of people commented, I'm just going to keep going down and show y'all how dark these get. A lot of people commented on my videos about going ahead and taking a digital test earlier, like way back up here, because it had disappeared here. But I didn't want to, because these tests aren't very sensitive. So I was afraid, since this was gone here, that if I took a more sensitive test, it may show up positive because the trigger could still be in my system. I wanted to know for sure that the HCG trigger shot was completely out of my body and that this was truly due to pregnancy, actual pregnancy HCG hormones. So that's why I didn't want to take a more sensitive test until I knew for sure that the trigger was gone and this was me being pregnant. So that's why I took the digital on 13 DPO and not any sooner. So let me back up here and show you. It's a lot of tests, I know. So here is the trigger, and it's disappearing. And then getting darker again. I never thought that I would be able to show this. I honestly didn't think it was going to work, but thank goodness it did. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few other brands of my tests here. So these are dollar store cheapies. These were like $1 a piece. So I took several of those just to make sure that the line was getting darker. This is 4 weeks. 4 plus 2, and you see it's getting darker here. 4 plus 4, and then 4 plus 6. I stopped taking these because I didn't think it was going to get any darker. But I did like seeing that progression of it getting darker. So here is the first response. And I've commented about these a couple times in my videos about how I don't think they're the same quality as they used to be. So there's my 4-week test. You just almost can't even tell that they're getting darker. 6 plus 1 was the last time I decided, because I didn't think it was going to get any darker. You can't really tell a difference between these. 5 plus 2 and then 6 plus 1. So I stopped taking the first response. And then I came over to I took this one and this one on the same day. And I wanted to see if I took another one a week later, if it would be any darker. It might be a touch darker, but you can't really tell. So after I took this one, I didn't take any more. A couple people commented about the hook effect. So the tests can actually start getting lighter or even negative. I haven't taken a test since then, so I don't know what it would look like, but I may do an experiment and try that out. People have told me to add water to my urine, so I'm going to do some more research on that, and I may do a video on that. These are my easy at home ovulation tests. I took these just to see how the line would get darker as I was more pregnant and further along. So I started taking them at 13 DPO. And you can see it's almost like a real pregnancy test because it picks up the HCG, so it's really cool to see it getting darker. And then These are the last two I took. I think this was 29. This was when I was like almost 6 weeks, and this was almost 7 weeks. So I don't think it could get any darker, so I stopped taking those too, but it's interesting to see the progression line. Okay guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Just to clarify, non-DPO was when my line disappeared completely, and I got a positive pregnancy on 10 DPO. Okay, I hope this video helps you guys out. And if you have any questions, just comment below. I read every one of my comments. So thank you guys for all your support, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.